and welcome. It is time to be intolerant, ladies and gentlemen. Time to be intolerant. There is no need to be tolerant anymore. It is time instead for all of us to start becoming very intolerant to those who go against collective national interest at this time. The lockdown is going to be extended, and we expect till April end. We're also expecting the Prime Minister, we are told, to formally announce that tomorrow. We have 2 weeks max, and possibly 1 week to 10 days to avoid stage 3. So there is no need to be tolerant anymore. If we don't follow what we're espousing on the program tonight, a zero violation lockdown, we will only have ourselves to blame. And then there is no guarantee after that. There is no guarantee that if this spirals and more Tablighi type episodes happen, if in colonies or RWAs or ghettos or parks, if people in groups begin to think they can violate it and get away in their area, then there is no guarantee that lockdown won't go on for much longer. So please understand that if today's numbers of 7,529 COVID cases in all and 6,634 active cases seems disheartening for you, for God's sake, I appeal to you, please do not get disheartened by that number, because please realize that we are doing okay. Yes, we are on the brink, but we are still doing just about okay. And yes, there have been 1,000 cases in 24 hours. But remember, do you know what the numbers would have been without this lockdown? Without the lockdown today, the numbers would have been 820,000. 8.2 lakh. We're only over 7,500. So our best and only way to beat this now is a zero lockdown violation. Please hear me. At this time, we need to do a few things. People like Jignesh Mewani, anti-nationals like him, who want to carry out political protests and are making calls on Twitter, block him. Twitter, block Jignesh Mewani. He must be locked up now. Anti-nationals who take videos of one odd incident of violence and make it go viral with stupid, smart aleck, opportunistic comments must be named and shamed by you, the conscientious citizen. And finally, some American citizens who, I don't know how, are managing to run news operations in my country. And you know who I'm talking about, don't you, viewers? American citizens who are running news operations in my country must be given a clear warning that we are going to be intolerant to them too, that they deserve our intolerance, that if they try and create trouble once again like they've been trying in the last 3 weeks, then these American citizens would, like they would have been in their own country, they will be picked up and deported within hours, dumped them into the ocean. We couldn't care less. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking of intolerance. And all of us, we should have every intention to be intolerant to those who step out of line during the lockdown. Why, you'd ask me? Because it's make or break for us. If these human rights lobbies speak up too much after what I've said tonight, let me tell them they too need to shut up, because it is life or death, make or break for us. So there is no need to be tolerant anymore to people who will go against national interest. Ladies and gentlemen, I have one big debate tonight. Remember, it's make or break. We're expecting a formal announcement of the extension of the lockdown tomorrow. We must ensure a zero violation lockdown. Zero violation. And here are the headlines this Saturday evening on the debate tonight.
कल 1035 टोटल इंक्रीज केस में नोट किया गया है और जिसके साथ ही टोटल केसेस की संख्या 7,447 हो चुकी है।
With 1,035 new COVID cases, India reports the highest single-day spike. It's make or break now, ladies and gentlemen. It's make or break, life and death now. Lockdown and early measures averted India reaching the 8 lakh mark by April 15th. States arrive at a consensus on a lockdown extension. Prime Minister could address the nation tomorrow. Flag marchers and drone surveillance keep a check on violators in Mumbai hotspots, India's worst affected city. The Ministry of Home Affairs warns the Bengal government for diluting lockdown and allowing religious congregations at this critical time. And Mamta faces serious questions over questionable Bengal numbers. The BJP accuses her of fudging figures. And ladies and gentlemen, in some time I'll be joined by the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, Dr. VijayRaghavan. But let me say this, without a lockdown and without strict containment measures, by now we would have witnessed at least 8 lakh coronavirus cases. I'm not making these numbers up. This is as per the statistical data analysis done by top government officials. And that is why there is an overwhelming consensus among state governments on extending this lockdown. So tonight, as we gear up for an extended lockdown phase, we need to tell ourselves just one thing. This time, zero violation lockdown. No politics, no vote banks, no Wadwan type VVIP racism, no callousness, no tolerance to violators either. Only zero violation lockdown.
In his third interaction with chief ministers in the last 22 days, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held an extensive 4-hour-long video conference with them and reviewed India's progress in the war against coronavirus. He acknowledged that there is a consensus among states to extend the national lockdown.
From Jaan Hai to Jahan Hai in his last national address to Jaan Bhi and Jahan Bhi today, Prime Minister has given a clear hint of how the lockdown looks from here on. It has two clear objectives. One, to keep a large mass of citizenship home in the spirit of social distancing to flatten the curve further. Two, to keep the wheels of economy running so that livelihoods are back on track and social strife is kept at bay. What is good is that there is bipartisan consensus cutting across political divide on Prime Minister's prescription for lockdown with exceptions.
In fact, the Prime Minister also told the leaders that earlier the government's motto was Jaan Hai to Jahan Hai. Now it is Jaan Bhi, Jahan Bhi. 5 states have officially extended the lockdown, Maharashtra and West Bengal being 2 of them.
Prime Minister officially ঘোষণা করেছেন এবং আমরাও বলেছিলাম যে সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট যে ডিসিশন নেবে এই সময় আমরা কোনো ডিফারেন্স অফ ওপিনিয়ন করতে চাই না, তার কারণ হচ্ছে এখন লড়াইটা দেশের লড়াই, সুতরাং সবাই মিলে একসাথে যাতে করতে পারি এবং সেই জন্য আমরা এই 30 এপ্রিল পর্যন্ত লকডাউন আমাদের এখানেও চলবে এবং তারপরে টাইম টু টাইম আমরা রিভিউ করব এবং জানাবো।
आपल्याला 14 तारखेनंतर किमान 30 एप्रिल पर्यंत, या किमानचा अर्थ असा आहे की सगळेजण जर का आपण व्यवस्थित शिस्तीत राहिलो, कुठेही गर्दी केली नाही, अगदी भाजी मंडईत सुद्धा नाही, तर आणि तरच आपण 30 तारखेपर्यंत ह्याच्यात बरीचशी बाजी मारलेली असेल.
India has witnessed the biggest single-day spike in the last 24 hours. 135 cases have been reported in a day, which is a 16% increase from the previous day.
642 people, they have already recovered. कल 1035 टोटल इंक्रीज्ड केस में नोट किया गया है और जिसके साथ ही टोटल केसेस की संख्या 7,447 हो चुकी है. Yesterday 40 deaths were recorded और जिसको मिलाएं तो टोटल 239 डेथ्स रिपोर्ट हो चुकी हैं.
In the financial capital, as per data released by the state authorities, over 1,100 have tested positive for the virus, out of which 75 people have succumbed. Mumbai too witnessed a spike of 189 cases between yesterday and today. 16% of India's total cases are in Mumbai itself. So, there are flag marches being conducted across the city and mass testing has begun in the Dharavi slum.
It's the flag march there are 3 Mumbai police jeeps and 3 bikes as part of the convoy, 4 bikes and 2 vans carrying personnel of the Mumbai police moving from one area to another.
Meanwhile, the situation in the state of West Bengal has come under question, with the Ministry of Home Affairs writing to the Mamata Banerjee administration after it received inputs on gradual dilution of lockdown. The MHA told the state that non-essential shops are functioning, social distancing norms are being flouted in vegetable and fish markets, and cops are even allowing religious congregations like the one that took place in Murshidabad on Friday.
Yesterday being a Friday, there was a gathering at one particular mosque here in Kandi area of Murshidabad, where a lot of people, gathered to pray. Now, according to the lockdown rules that is being established throughout the country, not more than 7 people can assemble.
So as the country prepares for an extended period of lockdown, this is what we need: 100% discipline and 0 lockdown violation. Let's debate.
Dr. K. VijayRaghavan, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, playing a very key role in deciding our government strategy at this time. Busy man at this time. Thank you, Professor Dr. K. VijayRaghavan, for joining me.
Thank you.
Is there a concern about community transmission, Dr. Raghavan? We're seeing numerous short hotspots being identified. Almost 300 containment zones in Mumbai. Are we at stage 3? Are we getting closer? What is the stage 2, stage 3 situation right now?
Well, I think the issue of what stage we are in needs to be dissected into the components. Which location are we talking about, and where are we seeing what? That is a critical aspect. The Health Ministry has brought out clear guidelines of what sort of containment different places need to have. Those are incredibly well articulated and tell you if there's intensity in a hotspot, this is what you must do. If it's an orange region, this is what we must do. If there are other regions where there's minimum disease, then what we must do. Now, I'd like to add on to this about how we can go one step ahead of the virus in this situation. But first, your question.
No, please go ahead. How can we go one step ahead of the virus? And can we do that in the remaining time of April itself? It seems too short. We're already 11th April.
Well, I think we can, and for the following reason. There are 2 approaches to attacking the virus. One is a defensive one, and the other is an offensive one. And in this, both are needed. The defensive one is social distancing, sanitary habits, washing your hands, covering your face when you're in public, and so on and so forth. That's critical. And the lockdown is another defensive strategy. It puts the brakes on the virus. Now, when you remove those brakes, even gradually, the virus will come back. How do we stay one step ahead of the virus? So we need an offensive strategy. There are 2 tools in our offensive strategy. One is contact tracing, and the other is testing. When you combine those 2, you have a very good offensive strategy. Arogya Setu is a contact tracing app. What it does is the following. If someone is identified positive, then all that person's previous contacts, those who have been close to that person over the past few days, are warned and looked after. Even when that person was perhaps asymptomatic and perhaps transmitting at that time. So this is a very important feature which takes into account the insidious nature of the disease where asymptomatic people can transmit. So the Arogya Setu identifies people who are in contact with someone who later became positive and has them tested if need be or isolated. That's very, very important. Contact tracing can be effective only when combined with testing on a large scale, all those contacts nearby. That testing is being ramped up incredibly, so we know who to look after, who to quarantine, who are safe and who can go into the community in a steady way.
But, 2 quick follow-ups on that. The aggressive part of what you mentioned, contact tracing will be effective only if there's a lockdown. The day the lockdown goes away, How is it going to help? And secondly, you're almost saying to me tonight, Dr. VijayRaghavan, that if there's any way in which we as citizens want to help you, the best thing we should do is to download the Arogya Setu app. But you know, there are so many lobbies. Over the last 1 week or so, we've seen very strong, motivated lobbies saying, oh my God, please don't download. The government of India is going to get you. Modi wants all your personal data. Your privacy is going to go for a toss, you know, on Arogya Setu. And I haven't seen a very strong counter from you on that. Why is that? Why haven't you given it back? If Arogya Setu is such a good thing, why haven't you given it back to these cynics?
Well, let me give you right away, a very straightforward answer to the privacy and security issues first, and then I'll tell you why the Arogya Setu is essential even post-lockdown. First of all, there are 5 points which we need to know about security and privacy. First is your data should go to a server on a need-to-know basis only when the person is infected. Secondly, there has to be complete encryption, then the removal of information in a timely manner, transparency, which includes consent. The Arogya Setu app has all of this, and the data should have maximal automation and go directly to the health information system. Minimum involvement of individuals at multiple levels. All these are there. Upon sign-in, you get a unique anonymous device ID is assigned. The linking of the mobile number is one time, securely encrypted. When you come in proximity to someone, to other registered devices, the app stores an encrypted signature of this interaction. This interaction is not pushed to the server unless you're considered at risk. Either you've come into contact with someone later who has been diagnosed, or your own category changes. The government of India uses this information only for administering necessary medical interventions. Your data is not going to be used for anything else. The app.
But why did HuffPost then publish an article which accused you of major surveillance? And they said that this app, which is meant to track suspected COVID patients, will let the government track citizen movements in perpetuity, almost as if Narendra Modi is going to go around with a magnifying glass to find out who went where and who had dinner with whom once COVID is done with. It's ridiculous, but HuffPost actually published a piece like that.
To put it mildly, that's a slightly misplaced allegation. Your information and all unique interaction is stored only for 30 days on the device, post which such data is deleted. For all data stored on the server for non-risk users, data is deleted in 45 days. For at-risk patients, data is deleted in 60 days. But this is not surveillance by any means. This is a major emergency. And this is a standard procedure if you want to stay one step ahead of the virus.
By the way, viewers, the gentleman on your screen, his name is Dr. VijayRaghavan. He is the principal scientific advisor to the government of India. He is part of the empowered group meant for coordinating with all private sector NGOs, international organizations for response-related activities. So one thing I want from you, of course, you are telling me you think it's going to work, right? You think the lockdown extension till April, we'll be able to flatten it by April, you think? Good enough to lift it?
So it's very important that during the period of the lockdown, we do two things. Maximally, people download the app and the feature phone version and start using it.
Please do that, viewers.
But also we put in place all measures for our poorest people, the most vulnerable, so that we can look after them. Then the app allows you to solve the conundrum between a very economic horrible situation and a health crisis. For the economy to grow, you have to release the lockdown. For the health of our people to stay safe, we have to have a lockdown. This conundrum is resolved by the app allowing you to have an e-pass, as it were, if you're well, to go ahead, and if you're not, to stay safe. And these kinds of measures allow steady, careful, calibrated removal of the lockdown in specific locations as needed.
So viewers, that's, it's please understand. Many of you have been asking me, how can we contribute? You have the principal scientific advisor telling you one way for you to contribute is to download the Arogya Setu app. And the way he's making it sound, even for technologically challenged people like me, I think I'll get on with it. So I'm going to download it. And we will fight back all the fake news warriors who've been trying to make Arogya Setu look like a surveillance app. My last question to you is, there's also pressure building up. Pressure is that people are writing articles. You must not extend the lockdown. The economy is not going to survive on a ventilator for long. You are coordinating with the private sector as well. How are you? What do you have to say about that narrative? There's a lot of pushback coming in from business lobbies.
Well, one thing which this pandemic has done to us is the private sector, the public sector, our academia, our startups have come together in a manner with a shared purpose like never before. And I know that the release of the lockdown will pose all sorts of issues on supply chain, how to ramp up our industry, how to stay safe at the same time. So I think there are ways by which, I know that there are ways, if we continue to work together in this manner, across all of the spectrum, we will be able to deal with the post-lockdown way in a manner which our economy can come back again and deal with both the growth of the economy and our most vulnerable sections.
Absolutely. And just on another note, how's the Prime Minister keeping up? You must be in conversation with the Prime Minister. How's he taking the pressure? What's his daily routine like? How is he on top of things? How many meetings does he have? A lot of curiosity how Mr. Modi is handling it.
Well, I can speak from rather limited experience. He is always attentive and grasps every nuance, every detail very rapidly. The entire teams, all these empowered groups, there are 11 of them, they report through a very organized structure. There's proper distancing, there's full engagement, there's video conferencing. So I think everything is really well coordinated, and we should see maximum effect of all these coordination steadily as we go along.
Absolutely, we will. We will. Well, keep up the great work. It is good talking to you. After the show, I'm downloading the app and then we'll exchange notes.
Thank you.
A lot more on that.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you very much for having me talk at this show.
Well, it's my pleasure that you came at this busy time. Thank you, Professor K. VijayRaghavan. It's so great to see these COVID warriors, people like Dr. VijayRaghavan. We never see this side of government, do we? But we are seeing it there today. We're proud of people like him. Thank you. Thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, more reason after that interview for me to introduce the panel and say this to you. You know what? We want a zero violation lockdown. Are we asking for too much, Tanveer? Are we asking for too much? You heard Dr. K. VijayRaghavan inspires you to say a few good things perhaps about what the Modi government is doing at this time. Is it too much, Ishkaran, to ask him for a zero violation lockdown? Is it too much?
Absolutely not, Arnab. We need a zero violation.
We need it. We don't have a choice.
Absolutely no.
We don't have a choice.
Absolutely
yes, Tanveer, open the debate.
From the day one.
Let Tanveer open the debate.
We are saying that there has to be zero violation during lockdown, and we have always cooperated with the government, and we would continue to cooperate with the government. But there are certain questions which we are not going to ask now.
There goes the but.
Let all this finish. Then Mr. Modi and his government has to really ask some questions.
No, when all of this is...
There are certain questions. That is the duty of
Ishkaran, counter Ishkaran.
Government, isn't it?
Arnab, it is a classical case of one bad apple can spoil the entire basket. We have already suffered from what Tablighi Jamaat has done. We need to have a zero tolerance policy now. Anybody involved in this, throw not only the easy sections of the law, but also 304, 307, 302, attempt to murder on anybody who breaks the lockdown. Because one apple will spoil the entire basket. One individual can become a super spreader like number 31 of South Korea, where the explosion of coronavirus happened by just one super spreader individual.
There is one apple.
So we need to have a very strict lockdown and not do politics.
Jairam, who's an MLA of BJP, was celebrating his birthday. A corporator from BJP in Maharashtra was celebrating his birthday.
Anybody does it, stop doing politics. I did not name any
MLA here in Karnataka from Tukur was celebrating his birthday with all his cheras and chapatas. Another corporator in Mumbai was celebrating his birthday.
How is Modi responsible?
You need to really decide.
No, one sec. 1 minute. Tanveer makes a point. I'll let Aman also come into the debate. Aman Sinha of the BJP, please come into the debate. He says, no, 1 second. Let me phrase it this way. Aman, before you come in, now for God's sake, there has been a trade to blame the Prime Minister
that
for
time
every
is at
lockdown
home.
violation. You think the Prime Minister of India is your local beat constable? He is not. How is the Prime Minister responsible? Who is politicizing the violations?
No.
No, 1 minute.
Has bigger responsibility.
Pardon me?
The BJP leaders, MLAs,
Arnab, this is
MPs,
not the time to
corporators
politicize
who
issues.
are really loving
It is
Mr.
extremely
Narendra Modi,
unfortunate that this is how the opposition party is conducting itself. Corona is the biggest challenge to humanity. Corona is the biggest challenge to the country. And this challenge in this time of crisis, this should bring out the best in humans. This should bring out the best in all Indians. And this is the time to unite. And together we will, together we can, and together we will defeat this coronavirus. But Mr. Spokesperson
he
of
is
the
responsible for celebrating his birthday. Why is he not behind bars?
Okay, so he asked a
Why is
question here.
Mr. M. Jairam not behind bars?
Okay, Aman.
The world as far as
Aman, a minute. I really want to silence Tanveer tonight. No, I want to silence him tonight. He says,
yes, Arnab, please go ahead.
He says, thank you very much. It'll take me 30 seconds. He'll be silent maybe for the next 30 minutes of the program. He says, Narendra Modi should answer the people of India as to why a BJP MLA in Karnataka celebrated his birthday. Next, he will ask Ishkaran, Narendra Modi must also find out how many balloons were there on the birthday and what kind of cake was served on the birthday. Now, if I ask you, then I'll ask you a counter question. In Madhya Pradesh, Arey Baba, wait. I said I'll be intolerant to violators, including those on my program. Listen to me. I ask you tonight. Don't make me, listen to me. I don't want to get a cough. I don't want to shout. I'm being extremely careful these days, okay? So please don't make me shout. Listen to me. In Madhya Pradesh, the Satana Congress MLA, Siddharth Kushwaha, brazenly violated social distancing norms, even as policemen on loudspeakers are saying you must have a 1 meter distance. Now, is Mr. Narendra Modi responsible for that? No, is it no, you want me to answer, no? Why? What is this garbage you throw? In Rajasthan, police in Banswara gathered in large numbers outside a bank to withdraw cash. Are you going to tell me why didn't Narendra Modi go with a stick and stop them from withdrawing cash?
Arnab,
No. What is Narendra Modi, your local Thanedar?
Including you and me, if at all we violate,
Arnab,
the violation is violation.
What is this?
I am not favoring any Congress leader. I am not favoring
I
any
wish they had the same focus in opposing coronavirus. Arnab, the focus they have in fighting PM Modi or opposing PM Modi,
right.
I wish they had 1/10 the focus in opposing coronavirus. Even today, we found some Tablighi Jamaatis hiding in Chandni Chowk. 50 people found positive from there. So what are these people talking about?
He won't talk
PM
on
has
Tablighis.
made a very clear call. PM has made a very clear call. PM has made a very clear call that there should be a complete lockdown. We should all support it. Why are you attacking a Prime Minister who was the earliest Prime Minister to do a lockdown of any country in the world? Of any country. At 100 cases, we had a lockdown. No other country did this. Please appreciate that and follow the law, and please do lockdown. Whether it is Thali Bajao, whether it is Diya, whether it is lockdown. Stop doing this politics of negation and
I get Tausif on the debate right now. Tausif. No. Let's be very straight. They want to debate. I'll debate. One second. They want to debate Muralidharan. I'll debate Muralidharan. Welcome to the program. 1 minute. I get Muralidharan along with Tausif. My question is to Tausif. Tausif, take a question. Viewers, the hashtag is zero violation lockdown. And I began the program by saying, we are going to be intolerant now. Are we not going to be intolerant to the violators? Have we not given them a long rope, Muralidharan? Have we not tolerated that? Is that not the reason why the number of Tablighi cases are more than 2,100 today? Muralidharan, my question is...
MLA is not arrested. If we are following a zero tolerance policy, why is BJP MLA who celebrated birthday along with 200 people not arrested yet?
Okay. Good question. Good question. Well done. Well done with your question. Well done with your question. Now listen to my counter question. Let's listen to me. Well done with your question. Listen to my counter question, Tausif. You have a bad habit. I think it stayed with you from class 3. You repeat the same line again and again. You are not in a nursery rhyme contest. You said what you had to, now I'm responding to you. Unlike you, I speak once. I speak sense. You speak nonsense and that too multiple times. Listen to me, Tausif. Yeah, Tausif.
Don't defend this BJP MLA, Arnab. Repeat with me that this BJP MLA should be arrested. Repeat with me that this BJP MLA who held the birthday party along with 200
Taufik, it doesn't matter who's violating. Whoever violating should be imprisoned or, charged. As simple as that. So what are we debating here?
He thinks I will
Because
support
the law
a
is same
BJP
for
MLA
you
who had
or
a
me
birthday.
or anybody.
Listen, I'll tell you one
thing.
thing.
It doesn't matter.
No,
right?
Muralitharan,
we have to be
the
zero
problem
tolerance
is
because we have done extremely well. We have brought this country such a beautiful, look at Japan today.
Then why
Japan
give an
numbers are
exemption
almost
to a
going to
BJP
exceed
MLA
ours.
who has
The problem
And
today.
we have 130 crore
birthday along
people.
with
When
200
you
people.
take this number, what we have today, out of 130
problem
crore,
is-
it's peanuts.
tell the
It is
people-
nothing.
Yeah. Once,
Absolutely
Tausif, I
nothing.
want to speak to you,
We have
Tausif.
done
Tausif, I want to speak to you.
The whole of West.
Muralitharan, I have a question now. I need to silence him as well. 1 minute. Tausif, I need to speak to you. The problem is, viewers, please note that everyone's on. The problem is today that in a choice between being silly and stupid, silly or stupid, Tausif has rejected the first option. Now, my question to Tausif is a counter question is this.
No,
Let's
you are
show
being
the pictures
silly
of
and stupid
Murshidabad.
because you are giving an answer to a question by a counter question. You must first answer whether BJP MLA enjoys an exemption or not.
Of course not.
100%.
Of course not. How is that even an
And
issue?
then you can move on.
Of course not.
But
Of course not. Go arrest him. Go arrest him. Go arrest him. Of course you should. We pick up the issue. You are quoting us. Now listen to me. Now you listen to me enough. Now, I'm not going to be tolerant to you either. Tausif, my question is 1 minute, viewers. Please, producers, pull up the pictures from the mosque in Murshidabad. Full frame. Viewers, have a nice look at these pictures. You know what? Politically correct channels in India do not report what happened in the mosque in Murshidabad. Because you are told, you are reporting on a mosque in Murshidabad? How can you report on a mosque in Murshidabad? You are not a secular person. You are not a secular channel. And I'd say this. This happened on a Friday at a mosque in Murshidabad, which happens to be in Bengal. Now the nation wants to know, Tausif, from you tonight, and the nation wants to know, Tausif, what was happening, why is Mamta Banerjee allowing these things in mosques in Murshidabad? Please tell me.
No.
Please tell me. Vote bank politics, huh?
When you say allowing, you are factually incorrect.
Oh.
You
Look
must
at Tamil
choose your
Nadu.
word wisely.
91%
I'm
of all
factually
cases
incorrect.
allowing,
the police
you are
is
factually
doing
incorrect.
Trinamool
You
police,
are
which is
factually
there.
incorrect.
Saying facilitating this congregation. They are saying facilitating entry of everybody into that particular masjid. And he's saying, where is the question of allowing? We can all see on Republic Arnab the pictures that you're showing right now that police is facilitating congregation of all these people.
Tausif, louder please. Tausif, listen to me. Tausif, tell me one thing. Only Tausif and me for a minute. Tausif, I need to deal with you and then I'm moving on. Listen, Tausif, I'll tell you one thing. Listen. Oh, 1 second, please. Tausif, you need to focus on what I'm saying to you. Aman, give me a minute, please. Tausif, I'm saying this to you. And please don't speak over me. Speak calm. At a mosque in Murshidabad, massive congregations of people are being allowed. And you are saying Mamta is not allowing it. I am asking, how are people daring to do it under Mamta's watch? Or you are saying those who go to the mosque in Murshidabad, lockdown does not apply to them. Should they also be jailed? Should they be jailed? Should they be jailed?
Yes, they should be jailed.
Good.
Along with each
Then why are they being allowed to go to the mosque for prayers during the lockdown?
Including those incidents during Ragnavmi.
I'll also tell you one more thing. No.
Dealt with it strictly.
All right.
Including the incident.
Now Surendra Chauhan is on the debate with Ranjit Keshav. Ranjit, I have been saying this. I say one thing, Ranjit. You know, it all depends on how the government looks at it. Arnab praised the Pinarayi Vijaya government because they had the foresight 3 weeks back or more. They put together an ordinance and they said, we don't care Hindu, Muslim, any religion. We don't even care media or anyone. This is going to be absolute intolerance, and it was a harsh ordinance. And I think one of the reasons Kerala is fighting back, and I hope it does better, is because of those tough rules. On the other hand, Ranjit, and let's be clear about it, if some people go soft in certain areas for vote banks, you can't, let's be clear, for vote banks, Surendra Chauhan, be clear. Some people are going soft on Tablighi also thinking about vote bank. I couldn't give a damn for these vote banks. I'm saying right now, today the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ranjit, wrote a letter to the Bengal government saying you are allowing violations in areas like Metia Bruce, Garden Reach, Maniktola, and you are not enforcing the ban on religious gatherings. Now, if Mamata is scared of upsetting vote banks, which is why she wants certain religious gatherings to continue and crowds to continue and certain areas to go unimpeded and people to attend mosques in Friday prayers in Murshidabad, then she is violating the fundamental principle of a lockdown, that there must be no vote bank politics at this time. Now, what is wrong in what I'm saying, Ranjit? Please take the discussion forward. Surendra Chauhan after Ranjit, please.
She will face the music.
She won't face the music. The people of Bengal will face the music.
It clearly shows the fact that, people, most of these people are, they're holding the central government accountable for the lockdown. It has become the responsibility of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his government to take the responsibility of the people. Of course it is. But it is also important that, the state government supports them and also the citizen supports them. The person who spoke about the Karnataka MLA celebrating the birthday, let me also put a point across to him. If he wants to make it political, saying that the Madhya Pradesh MP, Siddharth Kushwaha and 7 other people, there was an FIR registered against them because they went against in section 144. So do you want to make it political? Then let's make it political. But this is not the time to make it political. There are certain people, who have been doing certain things which is against the lockdown policies. But that doesn't mean that, we go and hold the central government responsible for everything. They are doing a tremendous job. Narendra Modi, I think he's doing a tremendous job in curbing things in the country right now. There is every reason that the lockdown should continue. A lockdown fatigue doesn't mean that, we go totally at ease with the lockdown and say that, things can go back to normal. But as you rightly said, that there is a vote bank politics that is happening. There is a vote bank politics that is happening because, there are certain people in the system who wants to steer the population to go against the central government, which is totally wrong. And we really need to understand where exactly are we right now. We are at no point. The numbers have doubled in the last 2 days.
We are no point.
We were talking about containment, but the containment hasn't happened. The numbers have gone high. There have been reports from densely populated areas. The new clusters have been, reported from Maharashtra, from Rajasthan, from UP. So why is it that, the people cannot take the responsibility and they can stop blaming the central government?
Because unless you stop vote bank politics at this time, I'm saying this again. No, one sec. We must be clear, Royden. Unless you stop vote bank politics at this time, when I'm saying zero violation lockdown, I mean zero violation by every citizen from every religion and every community and every locality. It has to be zero violation lockdown everywhere. I'm sorry. It can apply here but not there. It can apply in my colony but not there. It can apply in his home but not in mine. It can't happen. The question is, you apply it everywhere, it will work. Don't stretch my democracy any further for it. Royden?
It is going to be a good example. Why are we even talking about it?
Why am I talking about it? No, he's saying, why am I talking about it? You want to know why we are talking about it?
What you have to do is,
you want to know why we are talking about it? Show the Agripada visuals.
To get hold of anyone violating.
No. He says, why are you talking about it? You said, why are we talking about it? Okay, great. Royden, listen, look at the pictures.
The Congress or the Trinamool or the TRS or anyone.
Okay, Royden, thank you. You asked a good question.
Has to be arrested. PJ.
Okay, then tell me.
Thank the Prime Minister. I'd like to thank the Prime Minister and the Chief Ministers of every state who are cooperating so much and extending the lockdown. The last time also I requested for a lockdown in the same debate. I am very happy
Louder.
that the lockdown has been extended. And we are going to even extend it more. It will happen more.
I don't want an
Because
extension.
today,
I want a
we
zero
have crossed
tolerance
the number-
lockdown.
We have crossed the number
No,
itself.
Aman Sinha,
Above 8,000.
Aman is on the debate. Aman and Surendra Chauhan. Surendra Chauhan, I am
Arnab,
not,
go ahead.
and my purpose here is not to support a lockdown extension indefinitely. But
Yes.
I'm saying, though I must say, every country is extending the lockdown. But you know, in Germany, when Angela Merkel is extending the lockdown, I don't think there is a case in Germany like in Agripada in Mumbai. I want to show the pictures where, you know, some people from a certain area, they can even manhandle police officers. Manhandling police officers, threatening them.
That's extremely
threatening them.
unfortunate.
I am asking
and
you, in
shocking,
Germany,
Arnab,
would
and
this
in
be
fact,
allowed?
Prime
Would
Minister
people,
Narendra
would
Modi
people in a
raised
certain
this
region,
point
certain
in
area?
Chief Minister's conference
No,
today.
be allowed. No, I am asking you here.
Unfortunate incident.
I want.
Incident.
Or would the incident like Murshidabad be allowed in Italy? I'm asking you. Would I'm asking you. Show the Murshidabad pictures. Would an incident like Murshidabad?
So Surat thing will be allowed. Surat thing will be allowed.
Of course
everywhere.
not allowed. Of course
Surat
not
thing
allowed.
you are
And
not
what do you
exposing?
mean by saying Surat thing? Mention Surat
So
thing.
why you are
What
not
Surat thing
exposing
are you
them?
talking about?
Why you are not
What
exposing?
Surat thing are you talking about?
Yes.
What Surat thing?
No, Surat.
What Surat?
Surat, Gujarat.
Now, what Surat, Gujarat? Tell me, I'll respond to you nicely. What
there
Surat, Gujarat?
There was a laborer, there was a torch.
And what did the
Vehicles were
Congress party
torched.
do? What did the Congress party do? You know what? You should be ashamed of yourself
Gujarat
today.
is governed by not Congress. It is a BJP
Surendra
government there.
Chauhan, you should be ashamed of yourself today. Yes, there was violence. Listen to me.
Arnab.
Yes, no, 1 minute.
See,
Yeah, 1 minute. No,
only
no,
thing
Aman, 1
we
minute. Aman,
see
Surendra.
all over India, people are supporting the lockdown.
Chauhan.
Nobody is violating.
Chauhan.
If there is any violation, it is booked.
No. Aman, I must
Sonia
respond.
Gandhi tweets that Rahul Gandhi model is succeeding.
No, Aman, I must.
Just imagine the bankruptcy of the Congress party, that at this time of crisis, they are more interested in attacking Prime Minister Narendra Modi and scoring
Arnab
political
Goswami
brownie
approved
points
Bhilwara
rather than
Bhilwara
cooperating with
project
this
in
lockdown.
Rajasthan.
Let me say,
Bhilwara
Arnab,
model.
that the kind
Now
of
you are
remarkable
again bringing
leadership that Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has shown in this time of crisis is being acknowledged by the entire world. And today, India has the lowest infection rate, lowest
you are not
mortality
acknowledging
rate,
the
and
government
people have
in
responded to the clarion
Punjab
call
state has already
given by Prime
increased
Minister Narendra Modi ji.
the lockdown,
There are
extended the
corona
lockdown.
warriors, there are health officials, there are media persons like you, there are police officials, there are large number of people who are maintaining essential supply and services, working on ground. But people like gentleman who's been speaking and only criticizing the government do not know that at times of crisis, even the worst people sometimes they come together. But Congress party, unfortunately, is not going to improve, and their old ways are going to continue.
Mr. Chauhan, may I respond to you? Mr. Chauhan, listen to me. First of all, please do not mention on my program, don't insult my program by talking about persons with profoundly limited intellectual capacity and zero governance experience, like the 51-year-old self-retired Congress president. I don't want to talk about him. He's not worth the time of the nation at this time. And neither is any member of the dysfunctional family called the Vadras. I have no time to waste on that dysfunctional family. I have no time to waste on that dysfunctional family. Now my question is not this. My question tonight is this.
But you always talk about them.
I have no time to waste. Yes, I will. When I need to expose the dysfunctional family, I will. They're not worth my time. Do you understand? Please, don't waste the country's time. I'm not going to respond to. By the way, people, the Sarpanch, the local officers, and Sachin Pilot has done good work in Bhilwara. Let that entitled, corrupt family called the Vadras not try to take attention away. If Sonia Gandhi feels that this country was invented by her son, then that is her maternal pride going crazy. Now listen to me. Don't make me open my mouth once more about that dysfunctional family. I just want to say one thing.
You have an infatuation, I believe.
I need to ask you something, Surendra Chauhan.
Clearly an offense under the Disaster Management Act section.
No.
54.
I need to ask him. See, there is a case of violence. Yes, there was violence in Surat. But I want to know, Ishkaran, the way the Congress party was celebrating it yesterday. Violence! Gujarat model went wrong. Let's call Al Jazeera. I mean, this madness. Of course, there was violence. But why were you celebrating it yesterday? You're the anti-national, Surendra Chauhan. People like you.
Nobody was celebrating.
People like you were celebrating violence. Of course you were. Go find out what the Congress IT cell was doing.
Those
zero
who run a
violation.
propaganda
Your zero
against
violation
the
highlighting
measures
them.
of
That's
the
all.
Prime Minister,
Your zero
nitpicking
violation
at
highlighting
anything
them.
possible.
Today you are,
That
are you
is the
celebrating
problem,
Murshidabad?
because
The
they
answer is
find
no.
a problem with lockdown.
It is only
Then
that
tomorrow they
were
would find a
exposing
problem
it, that
with
if somebody
the
is into
app which
governance
the principal
violating
secretary
it,
just
so they must
spoke.
book it.
They are going to find problems with everything. They want privacy when we are battling a crisis. You see other countries, how they are quarantining people and tracing their mobile from satellite. Your mobile gets switched off, a policeman comes to your house if you are in quarantine. And these are countries who ask for privacy. Even there, that is the level of surveillance going on, because everybody knows that in difficult circumstances, your privacy has to take a backseat. If you are in Japan and your phone gets switched off because the battery discharges, a policeman reaches your house because for 30 minutes your phone has not beeped up to the satellite giving your location.
If a
What are you talking about privacy? Go and see what other countries are doing. You just
Surendra
go on
Chauhan.
opposing
Surendra
any
Chauhan, I
policy
ask
of
you.
the government.
Political party.
What are you saying, Tanveer? Tanveer, listen. Tanveer, listen. Tanveer, listen to me. Okay, one second. There is a man, an irresponsible man, an anti-national man, a person who is part of the Tukre gang called Jignesh Mewani, who has asked for a political protest in the middle of this very sensitive situation. Right?
He is nothing but a stupid joker.
Yeah, but why do you need to, why, no, do you know the last time he did the Bhima Koregaon thing, what happened? People died and then like a coward he ran away. I think, okay, so this man who you call a stupid joker, should he be arrested or not? Because I think he's being out. He should be arrested and put in lockup so that he doesn't complicate things for law and order. He's trying to create a wave of political protest in this country at this time. We don't have a time for that protest. Do we have a time? Tell me, Ranjit Keshav, should the law and order machinery be enforcing the lockdown or handling people like Jignesh Mewani now? You tell me. You tell me.
No, Arnabji, it's very clear. It's very clear, right? The fear mongers will continue to do their job. People, who wants to do vote bank politics, they will continue to do their job. But the central government will continue to do their job in total appreciation of the citizens of this country, and that is what we will see 3 months down the line. What these people do not understand is there are bigger issues that the country is facing as of now. The last 2 days, the numbers have gone high. Who's talking about that? People are talking about protest. People are talking about celebrating the migrant workers who are conducting protests in places like Gujarat and Goa. And these are the people who do not want to come come and confront the reality. We have bigger issues. We thought the numbers will go down. The numbers haven't gone down. The numbers have gone up. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about what will happen with the intra-trade between the states and the country. Nobody wants to talk about it.
How opportunistic is it? I'll tell you one thing. There is a person who calls himself a journalist. 1 second. There is a person. Let me give you an example today. Muralidharan. There is a person, Ishkaran, who calls himself a journalist called Vinod K. Jose. I don't know which. I think they work for this. They work for this 1 minute. They work for this what used to be, a pamphlet called The Caravan. 1 minute. A pamphlet called The Caravan has a journalist called Vinod K. Jose. I don't think anyone who works for a pamphlet can be a journalist. But my question here is this. The person actually tweets at this time. Look how opportunistic it is, Ishkaran. The person tweets saying, those who praised Modi's Gujarat model circa 2014 to 2012 to 2014 must hear this. COVID-19 fatality rate in Gujarat is the highest among all states. It is over 2.5 times more than the national average. 1.3 billion Indians are trusting the architect of the Gujarat model to save them. This opportunistic person is actually celebrating the fact that more people as a proportion have died in Gujarat because it helps this person prove a point that the Gujarat model was wrong. Have these people gone crazy? Ishkaran, who are these people? Who are these people? Who are these people? Ishkaran, who are these people? Should they not be named and shamed? Ishkaran.
They are hyenas. They are hyenas who are wanting to profit from deaths. वो गिद्ध नहीं होते. They are wanting to profit from deaths of people and do politics on deaths of people because of a disease. They are hyenas. They are gidds. They are not journalists.
I don't understand. How can someone do this?
Because they
how do people do things like this?
They want to score political.
No, Royden, how do people do this? Royden supports this kind of argument. Yes, Royden, you support it, right? You support this argument? This offensive argument?
I say anyone violating and
No, comment on the tweet I just read out. Comment on the tweet I read out. Comment on the tweet I read out.
And if we do not
comment on the tweet I read out.
Top level people, the bottom level
people virtually celebrating deaths to make a political point that more people as a proportion died in Gujarat. You want to use that as a point to make an anti-Modi point? It's madness.
There are other magazines.
Come on, Muralidharan, what's going on, Muralidharan?
We are a country of 130 crore people.
Why should we tolerate this?
We should have minimum of at least 1.3 crore idiots. So I think we should move ahead, not waste time on these fools. They will keep doing this day in, day out. They've been paid to do this nonsense. I think as a country we have done fantastically well. We have things under
absolutely.
Even 10,000 case is 0.001%.
No, my question is, Tanvi, do people still... Aman, the people who are doing this now... Okay, finally, Aman, the people who are doing this now,
go ahead.
Do they not believe that eventually we will come out of this phase? As I've said yesterday, Tanveer, this is a phase, it's not forever. But everybody watching tonight is remembering all the people who are trying to make this fight difficult. Am I right? Tanveer, any doubt about it? You don't think people will remember? After all of this is done and dusted?
No, absolutely no. We have no other option than to come out and fight this pandemic. That's the only option. We have to fight it together. We have to fight it together.
Then why are you supporting people like those who are celebrating death?
Ideologies have to really come and we are there with the Prime Minister. We are there with the Prime Minister, but there are certain fringe we need to really take care, and the fringe are absolutely at both the places.
Well, I don't think there's a fringe.
But you are not taking care. That is the point precisely, Arnab. That we all have to be united. We all have to be together in order to defeat this coronavirus. But there are people who are coming and trying to score a political point, trying to celebrate death, which is absolutely shocking and utterly dismaying. And not only that, this is an offense under the Disaster Management Act to create any such kind of
for
news.
example, he is scoring political points every day, isn't he? Have you gone through the tweets
this is the difficulty with the Congress party. They wish to politicize everything, wish to score political brownie points.
No.
Their interest is not fighting corona. Their interest is only attacking the government in one way or other.
I am not Congress.
What action did the Congress party take in this fight against corona? Apart from applauding Mr. Rahul Gandhi for no effort whatsoever. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is going on daily creating some kind of false alarm, trying to create some kind of panic, and entire country is together. They know this is no situation of panic. Everything is in control. But despite that, Congress party is doing this every day. How can this thing be allowed, Arnab?
Please don't mention. Please don't mention. Again, you have mentioned the 51-year-old adolescent. Well, if it makes you any happier, Royden, Rahul Gandhi saved the Titanic, painted. Rahul Gandhi saved the Titanic. Rahul Gandhi painted the Mona Lisa. Rahul Gandhi invented the steam engine. And Rahul Gandhi also discovered the Bhilwara model. I thank you very much. I thank you very much. Please have a zero violation lockdown, ladies and gentlemen. Please have a zero violation lockdown. And on another note, before I wrap up tonight, I'm joined by a familiar face. And there he is, Purab Kohli, well-known actor. Now he's joining us from the UK. And Purab is not just a well-known actor, but he's also a COVID fighter. I don't call them COVID survivors, Purab. I call them COVID fighters.
Survivor sounds a bit dramatic.
I know, survivor is very dramatic, very dramatic. How are you doing? And where is this from? Are you in London or where in the UK is this from?
I'm in London.
You're in London. So how are you and what's been going on? You know, we saw some media reports. I like to put out some positive stories every day, Purab, in these difficult and dark times. And I know how difficult it is in the UK as well. So tell me about what you and your family went through. We heard reports around 10th, 4-5 days back that your family had recovered from the novel coronavirus. Tell us what you went through. What was it like?
Well, as you're saying, Arnab, it's a grim time in the world actually, and it's bringing everybody down to their knees, as you are well aware of that. I mean, you better than me. You're in touch with the news from all over the world. Here also, especially the last few weeks have been quite grim because of the numbers increasing so rapidly. And since you ask about what happened to us, well, towards the end of March, which is 3 Saturdays ago now, my daughter first contracted a flu, what seemed like to me like a normal flu. And then my wife got a cough, and then I got a cold, and then my son got a fever. I was in denial the first few days, saying that, no, we can't get it. I mean, we're being quite safe. We're cleaning ourselves, and we're staying at home. But it's so rampant here. And then when we started talking to the GP, they said, you guys have got it. Pretty much sit at home now for 2 weeks without even going out to get groceries for yourself. And then we had to get neighbors to come and help us and do things. Luckily, we were hit only mild to medium. My wife was hit a little stronger than my wife and my son a little bit. But my daughter and me were very, very mild. So luckily, we were quite safe. It took a while. We rode it off. I mean, all the things you hear about it, breathlessness, fatigue, a very, very annoying cough. And it lingers on, a lingering temperature for almost, 15, 16 days to recover from it. So, that's what we went through.
What was the stress like? I mean, how old are the kids? You must have been so worried more about them as well, How did they...
Well, I mean...
So was it all together in the family, one after the other, or were all of you sick at the same time?
Yeah, there was a period that was stressful. I think from the 6th to the 8th day, it was a bit stressful because those were the days that my son had his high fever, and my wife was kind of dipping again because she had the first couple of days that was the cough and was a little frightening, and then she got better. Strangely, my daughter, who gets violent fevers, and we've seen her in the past be extremely unwell, she just sort of breezed through it. I mean, she had a temperature for about a day or two, which was 99, 100, 101 max it went up to, and it disappeared. So the kids did really well. They just sort of breezed through it. It was almost like they didn't know what was happening, so they were not bothered by anything. My wife and me had to shut down a little bit in terms of what we were reading and seeing about the virus and about the sickness, because sometimes, when you read so much about it, you kind of start feeling it within your body also. We were saying, okay, let's just stop reading everything and shut down and focus on fixing ourselves and recuperating more than anything else. That's what we needed. We needed to rest. We needed to relax. The kids were getting up in the night, so we had to really be at our best, to be there for them and be there for each other.
Man, must be so difficult, man. Must be so tough. I can imagine.
I mean, not as tough as other people.
But you also wrote, once panic sets in easily, it's not easy to handle. So you were calming yourself down as a family then?
Just as we got it, one of my wife's friends sent us a message. She had just come out of it. And she had mentioned in that message that on the 8th day, she felt a certain sense of breathlessness. And she used a hot water bottle on her chest to calm the breathlessness down. I mean, at that point of time when I read it, and I was thinking that, because I was so much in denial, I said, no, she also must have not got it. Everyone's imagining that they're getting corona now.
But you got yourself tested. Like you were tested positive for corona.
We can't test here in the UK unless you reach the hospital and you're serious. Then you can test.
So your GP told you that's it. So he could see your symptoms and you were going through.
Yeah, we were talking to the GP over 3 days.
How do you know it was not the flu? I mean, how do you know it was not just?
We don't know for sure because we've not been tested. That's the ultimate thing that we're waiting. Actually, when the tests start opening up, we can go and test and see if we have antibodies. But continuous conversations with our GP over 3 days and giving them all our symptoms. And moreover, someone we know got who we weren't physically contact, not us directly, but my daughter's nursery, one of her friends, their mother got very serious and taken to hospital. Yeah. So they got tested. So that was kind of the link where we figured out that we had. Then the GP also we were talking to, and they said, yes, then you definitely seem like you guys have it, and you should close down and shut down at home.
So I was told that you did. We're hearing a lot about Ayurveda to boost immunity at this time. And I was reading, and you said that you were taking a lot of haldi and Adrak.
I don't know that. I don't
now
know
you are
if,
the walking, talking ambassador of traditional Indian remedies. So come on, man. Sitting in UK, say a few good things.
You know,
because
I'm
we've
surprised.
tried.
I'm surprised.
Everyone here, Purab, nowadays, I can tell you there is this resurgent belief in everything. You know, people who are having chawanprash, people are having haldi, crushed haldi. Haldi seems to be the most in thing. I heard you talking about turmeric lattes, but I think when the world changes, we are going to have haldi cafes all over London, you know. I'm telling you, haldi saltwater gargles team.
Turmeric is quite popular already.
It is?
Turmeric is quite popular already. In the UK it's quite popular, yeah. You go to any vegan restaurant, there's got turmeric going on, a lot of it. And I think, you know, when something unknown such as this coronavirus comes and gives you a flu, you know a flu, you've had flus all your life, you know, so you tend to go back to what you have always done in your household, you know. I don't know if haldi, ginger, honey is Ayurveda, because I think Ayurveda also depends on your energy levels and your doshas, and definitely something that all news channels should be talking about now is Ayurvedic medicine, because that is the kind of medicine that focuses towards immunity building, stabilizing all your energy, so you can actually fight off any disease, not only this one, but any disease that is attacked by, your body is attacked by.
Yeah, I know. But you know, traditional Indian remedies are very useful at this time. I found it interesting that you were also doing it.
Haldi, ginger, honey, you know, those kadas with. I mean, you are trying everything because also there's a fear, right?
Yeah.
अब क्या यार बच्चे को हो गया है, हमें हो गया है, तो you have to just try everything that's possible, you know.
So you know, after this is all over, you start a bunch of kadha cafes. Kadha cafes by Purab Kohli all over London now.
Well, we can sell anything now. We can sell anything.
I know. No, but listen, it's so good talking to you. Said
In fact, the best way to do it is if you do a handstand and you have haldi, ginger, honey, it works even better.
A handstand? Oh God, yeah.
No, we should be joking about this.
Are you home? Are you going out now? Are you going out? Are you completely home? Are you locked up?
Well, the lockdown here is a little more lenient than India. It's still locked down. It's not opened. It's locked down, but we can go out for an exercise in the day. We can go out for to buy our groceries. So we go out. I mean, between my wife and me, we do go out twice a day.
Yeah.
One of us goes and gets the groceries in the morning. I go for a run or a cycle ride. Gyms are closed, so you can't go to the gym. So whatever, you can work out in the park. The parks are open, but lots of the hangout places are shut down. So there's a whole bunch of benches and they've closed down the benches. But you can walk around the park. So because that's again an immunity booster, right? A little bit of exercise.
Yeah.
And not advocating it in very, very extremely populated cities, because I mean, if you get a lot of people moving around in a city like Mumbai, for example, I think that would end up being disastrous. So,
no, good things will happen. We're all very happy that Boris Johnson is also recovering. And
that was frightening. It was frightening for everybody.
Oh, amazing! Great fighter, I must
say.
Yeah,
leader go back. Yeah,
great fighter there. And Purab, I'm so happy for you and your family. I'm sure you've got those antibodies now, but not just antibodies. You've got all your confidence, and the best thing is your family was all hanging in together and has come out of this together. So in a way, it's also a life-changing experience, isn't it? For families all over, families come together at times of crisis, and this only makes us stronger. So give my love to everyone.
The world is coming together for this crisis, Arnab. The world is coming together.
Yeah, world is coming together. Give my love to everyone in the family, to your wife and your kids. And maybe next time I'm in London in better times, we'll sit and discuss the plan for your Kadha Cafe in greater detail. Kadha Cafe Arms, we'll call it. Down the corner, a new concept of a pub. Well, Purab, good to see you again, man. Stay strong and really, really good talking to you. Thank you. Thank you, Purab.
Nice talking to you, Arnab. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Same to you. All right. So, something good to wrap up with. Remember, viewers, before, after, when this is all done, the one solution which will never go away, a good cup of kadha. And viewers, that's the number today. But the number I want to highlight is, look at the red graph up there. You know, our numbers would have been very different had we not had the lockdown. The health ministry says it could have been 8.2 lakh. We're at 7.5. but around 650 people have recovered. The active cases around 6,500. And if we have a zero violation lockdown with zero tolerance for violators, believe me, as the principal scientific advisor said on top of the program today, we will get past this and get past it well. Let's see what the Prime Minister says tomorrow. For now, good night and goodbye.